Transportation 2050. Because of Transportation 2050, we are able to do amazing things. And the reason we're able to do those amazing things is through the commitment of people like Mayor Stanton. So Mayor Stanton took transportation, and in fact, it was one of his city addresses, the State of the City address several years ago. He made the commitment that we were going to triple the amount of light rail miles, and we were going to make sure that transit ran later, that provided the service to the people who need it to get to their appointments, to work on second or third shift. So I'm going to let the mayor come up, who is one of our biggest supporters, in fact, the biggest supporter of transit. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Maria Hyatt. She does a great job as our transportation director. Thanks, everyone, for being here. A great day as we celebrate significantly expanded bus service for the citizens of the city of Phoenix. I know how important this is. You've heard my story. I grew up in West Phoenix, and I grew up in a bus family. My dad took the City of Phoenix bus every day to and from work, to his job selling shoes at JCPenney at Park Central Mall. Billy, do you remember when there was a JCPenney at Park Central Mall? Park Central's coming back in the very near future. And then later on took the bus to Christown Mall every single day. Our family couldn't make it as a working class family without a great City of Phoenix public transportation service. So when I was elected mayor, it was really my honor to have the opportunity to support greatly expanded bus service for the citizens of Phoenix. It's great to be here with my colleagues. Councilwoman Thelda Williams, Vice Mayor Kate Gallego is here as well. Thelda serves as chair of the Valley Metro RPTA Board, so she advocates for great bus service around the Valley. Of course, our leader, our esteemed congressman, former or recovering congressman. What title do you like, Congressman Pastor? Either one. Recovering congressman who can't give up public service and serves as the chair of our Citizens Transit Commission. Thank you both, all of you, for what you have done to help modernize our transit system. When we as a city sought public input to craft Proposition 104, our long-term historic Transportation 2050 plan, our proposed light rail garnered the most of the headlines. However, we heard loud and clear from the citizens of Phoenix about another aspect of transit. Transit users wanted more buses and more frequency of our buses. You spoke, we listened. We are here this morning, and there are several other events just like this across the entire city to show our appreciation to the tens of thousands of Phoenix residents who use our bus transit systems to get to work, get to school, important appointments throughout our city. Beginning today, your options are about to get a lot better. Thanks to the voters of Phoenix, riders will now be able to pick up buses an hour earlier in the morning and 2 hours later at night. That means buses in the city of Phoenix will now run 20 hours per day starting today. That is an awesome thing for the city of Phoenix. Bus service in Dial-A-Ride will now match light rail times, running from 4 a.m. to midnight Mondays through Thursdays. We've also added 3 hours to our weekend schedule with buses running from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's what a real city does to provide that level of service to the citizens of Phoenix. Our buses will pick up more frequently as well, even on weekends. You won't have to wait more than 30 minutes to catch a bus on our 33 fixed routes, and many of our busier street pickups will be as frequent as 12 minutes apart. You don't have to run to catch a bus anymore. Another one's going to follow right behind. This is a huge boost for our workforce, for our economy, for our environment. There are thousands of Phoenix residents who want to use public transportation or who could use it, but didn't run when they needed it. For many, these expanded hours will be the difference between having a job and not having a job. And many people will now start using our great buses because of the additional frequency and later and earlier hours. In our economy, we have many companies that employ second shifts who operate around the clock. Workers at our hospitals, restaurants, bars, manufacturers, or any other number of other industries will now have the option to use public transportation to get where they need to go. This is a $17 million investment that will make Phoenix a better, more modern city, more urban, and more livable city. But we are not done. In April, we're going to be looking to expand additional bus and dial-a-ride service to match light rail 7 days a week. This will help those late-night weekend shift workers or even our weekend nightlife crowds get a safe and reliable way to get home. And we're going to add new shade shelters to bus bays as well as more buses and dial-a-ride vehicles. And before I go, I want to one more time say thank you to the people of Phoenix. We asked our community to step up and make historic long-term investments in ourselves and our shared future. You responded overwhelmingly, and this is just the beginning of the positive changes you are going to see as a result. When you can expand buses to 20 hours a day, increase frequency like we're announcing today, beginning today, that's a great day for our city. I mentioned her earlier. She chairs our Transportation Committee for the City of Phoenix and is a regional leader of transportation through her work as RPTA Chair. Our Councilwoman Thelda Williams is next.
Thank you, Mayor. I too want to thank the citizens of Phoenix. I've been involved in transportation in this valley for probably 25 years. And I have always heard, well, I'd take the bus, but I'm not going to wait another hour. I'm not going to wait even a half hour. If you make it 15 minutes and you get it closer to my house, I'll use transportation. Well, we're here today. It's closer to your house every 15 minutes. We have 33 new routes that are going to be taking place. And as the chair of RPTA, I want to tell you one of the most exciting things is the coordination throughout the valley, the timing, so that when you get off one, there's going to be another one if you need to transfer. If you want to catch the train, they're going to be coordinated. You're going to be able to do that. And I've had people ask me, well, what took so long? We passed that tax a long time ago. How come it's just now today? Well, it's not that simple. You don't just turn an ignition key and you have all these new buses out there. You have all these new drivers out there. I have learned it takes a long time to train 60 new drivers. It takes a long time to get the buses in there. And you have to do it in a fashion that you can't hire them all and expect them to hit the same day. And I will tell you, we have some providers that have been providing extra community service. They have really stepped up to the plate. And it's something that people should be in awe of, because they not only have hired these people, trained these people, but they've had them volunteering in our community. And I am very proud of our providers. We have TransDev Services. Yay. Katrina, right over here. First Transit, Alan. And MV Transportation, Nate Peterson. They're pretty shy. There he is, over there. I want to thank you, because I know you have really put your hearts and soul, your creative energies in to making this all come together today and make it work. And this is only the beginning. I know you are still hiring, because we are going to increase services again in April. And I am very excited for this, because this is something this valley has needed for so long, a true good transportation. And we are now finally going to have it. And I will tell you, one of the key reasons is because we've had a lot of support over the years. And one of our biggest drivers in Washington has been Congressman Pastor. So please thank him and welcome him, Congressman Pastor.
Good morning. For those that are blessed, buenos dias. What a beautiful morning. As the mayor has told you, that when we voted for Proposition 104, part of the proposition created a commission. So I was lucky enough to be appointed by Mayor Stanton to serve as the chair of the 2050 commission. And we have members that have been appointed by the city council and the mayor to make sure that the monies are spent according to your desires and that we forward projects like this. So we were very happy when staff came to us to tell us that part of the 2050 monies that you voted for and supported, that there was a great need for extended bus hours. And so if you have lived in Central City or hang around Central City, you know that many people have a need for bus, but now with the extension of the hours, that means that people who couldn't make the first shift on a bus can make the bus, and people who work on the second shift can now ride the bus. But equally as important is the extension of hours of dial-a-ride. This is for people who qualify and have a need for transportation to come to their home and take them wherever they may need to go, doctor visit or buying groceries or whatever it is. So the extension of dial-ride is very important. And as the mayor said, in April, there'll be other improvements that we'll do. So to the residents of Phoenix, thank you for supporting Proposition 104, because you now see that the quality of life of the citizens of Phoenix is getting better. I had lived in the downtown area for many years, and I saw where the only real retail was the Matador, and you always wondered what was going to happen and when it was going to happen. Well, several years ago, we had a developer who decided to come to the heart of our city and begin development, and today we have Cityscape. And you know, that's a great development, and we get entertained, we get fed, and some of us who are younger get clothed there. And so I want to introduce to you a gentleman from Red Company, John Malystic. John, that's a great Spanish name, isn't it? Welcome, John.
For those of you that are young enough here, I think that Congressman just executed the first bottle flip to introduce the extended bus hours. Thank you, Congressman Pastor. My name is Jeff Malosnik with Red Development. About 10 years ago, we had the pleasure of coming down to downtown Phoenix and witnessing the immense amount of public money being invested by the community down here. Whether it was the light rail, T-Gen, ASU, we tallied it up and it was almost $4 billion being invested in the downtown core. We kept saying that when you have that kind of money being invested in a small area like this, it doesn't matter what happens nationally or internationally, you can't defy gravity, and we were creating a huge center of gravitational pull in downtown Phoenix. Today, if you go 2 blocks south to Cityscape, over 5,000 people live, work, dine, and move through that project Monday through Friday, each day of the week. And we don't have anywhere near the parking capacity to accommodate all those users of the project. It's 2 city blocks, over $500 million of private investment, and we are now recording some of the highest per square foot retail sales in all of the state. It's not possible without every means of transportation that we have in downtown. We're surrounded by the light rail. We have got a mass transit bus stop right in the dead center of our project. We've got a local bus stop in the dead center of our project. And the city has really found a way to allow us to cohabitate with all those different forms of transportation. So much so that each winter, we reroute some buses at the inconvenience of many of the riders so that 40,000 people can come downtown and ice skate in the middle of the park on Central Avenue. So I am deeply grateful for the leadership from our Vice Mayor Gallego, Congressman Pastor, Mayor Stanton, Congresswoman Williams. Everyone that's been involved with this project and involved with downtown has done things that have resulted in us being here. And we always say we would not be here if it were not for that effort done by our elected officials and by the public supporting us as well. With that, I'm going to turn it over to one of the biggest transit fans we've got, Monica Woolsey. Please step up.
Good morning. I have been riding the light rail and the bus for about 8 years, and I had been wanting to start using more public transportation because I'd lived in cities where I did it without a thought. And then right as I was launching a small business, my car died, and I had to make the decision between investing money in the business and buying a new car, and I thought this is the time to start. I live at 40th Street in Camelback, and when I started, it took me an hour and a half on the bus to get to the airport. Thanks to all of the improvements in the system, it's now one shot 20-minute ride. And every single year something happens to improve the service that has allowed me to delay the decision to buy a car. One of my hobbies is volunteer work. So I've been an organizer for Festivus, if you've been to Festivus, and I helped with the Chili Fest that was recently on Roosevelt Row. And one of the issues that I've always had trouble with is that I put a lot of time into organizing events, and then I come and I feel like Cinderella. I have to go home early before the event has even gotten started. And so now with this expanded service, it's going to allow me to come down and enjoy the events and stay and enjoy the things that I've organized. With my business, I was fortunate enough a few years ago to have been recruited. I'm a nutritionist, to work with the Milwaukee Brewers, and they're out in Maryvale. And had it been any other team that had come to me and asked me to work, I could not have been accepted the job because they were the one club in town that had bus service that would allow me to do that. And the one deal breaker that has been there is that when we have games in the summer, I really can't stay through the end of the game. I always have to leave at 5th or 6th inning and get home, and even when I take the last bus out east, I have to walk from Indian School back up to Camelback because I missed that last bus. So one of the first thoughts I had was I'm going to be a better employee for them and provide better service for them, because I'm going to be a lot more flexible as far as getting in and out of Maryvale, and not always having to look at my watch and wondering if I'm going to make that last bus. So what I would like to do, I've shared my experience with you, is introduce you to a Dial-A-Ride rider and who can share how the service is going to improve their life. And that is Mark Hamblin.
Hi, my name is Mark Hamblin, and I had to give up driving 28 years ago because of failing eyesight. And I thought, well, I'm going to be doomed. I can't work and support myself if I can't drive. Luckily, there was Dial-A-Ride and the bus services, so I've worked pretty steady for the last 28 years, supporting myself and living independently. And the improvement in the Dial-A-Ride service will give me more options to stay out later instead of leaving early because I have to get back before the last ride. So it's kept my quality of life pretty good. I'm independent, support myself, and enjoy myself. Thank you.
So you've heard some very compelling stories. You've heard about our plans to increase our service, which is incredible. You've heard from our riders who are benefiting from this, and I want to thank all of our riders. We're doing Rider Appreciation Day. We've been out at our transit centers saying thank you to our riders. And because of them, they're the ones that came to us and told us their stories. They told us what they wanted, and as you saw on our bus and the mayor mentioned, you spoke and we listened, and we will continue to do so. We will continue to hear what you ask for us, and we will put it out there into service as best as we can. So I think I just want to wrap up. These are the things that we heard about when we were in the campaign, prior to the campaign, and how we prepared our plan. We heard about the need for economic development. We heard about the need for providing that second shift, that more frequency, all of those things to let people get to work, to go have fun. go to a Suns game. And if it stays in double overtime on a Diamondbacks game, you can still get back. We heard about people who use it to get to jobs and go to appointments. And we included all of that into this plan. So today is the first step, and it is a big step that we're making with increasing our services by 20%. But it is the first step. So as the mayor and Councilwoman Williams both mentioned, we're increasing again in April. And then there's a lot more to come. We've got light rail. We're going to open up 3 light rail extensions in 2023. We just had an event to celebrate 50th Street Station, a brand new light rail station, which we've never added a new light rail station to an existing system in Phoenix, but we're very excited by the opportunities that provides. So hold your breath. A lot more is coming, and we just appreciate your support. Thank you, everybody, for being here this morning.